Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're doing a deep dive into a sporting milestone that's, well, it's got everyone talking. We're focusing on Harry Kane, one of football's absolute top strikers, and his first century of appearances for Bayern Munich. Our mission, not just to read out stats, but to really dig into what these numbers mean, understand his impact, and see what these first 100 games tell us about his journey and, yeah, what's next.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating here, I think, isn't just hitting 100 games, impressive as that is. It's the data, the raw numbers tell us about his impact. It's almost unprecedented, really, for someone moving to a new league like that.
Yeah, it really feels different.
It's more than just a good signing. It's like this incredibly fast, smooth integration and immediate influence. Not many players manage that, especially, at his age.
He completely smashed expectations, didn't he?
Totally. Flip the script.
Right. So let's dive in. The key fact. Harry Kane clocked his 100th appearance for Bayern all competitions in that recent Bundesliga match away at Augsburg. And the context here is important. He's 32, only joined Bayern in summer 2023 from Spurs. So hitting 100 games already in just over a season, it seems incredibly quick.
It really is. When you think about the bigger picture, getting 100 games that fast after a huge transfer, like you said, over 100 million, and at 32, it speaks volumes about his consistency, his physical condition, his adaptability.
You'd normally expect some settling in time, right?
Absolutely. Most players, especially moving clubs in their 30s, they need time. Minor injuries, maybe, learning the tactics, new country, new language. But Kane, it feels like he's been there forever. He's been basically indispensable from day one.
Almost ever present.
Yeah, exactly. And that tells you about his whole setup, his physical work, his mental strength under pressure, how quickly he understood the system, first under Tuchel, now company. It's not just being lucky. It's pure professionalism.
Yeah.
Just ready to go, demanding to play nearly every single game. You just don't often see that kind of immediate, high-volume involvement for someone his age making that kind of switch.
That immediate impact is a story in itself, isn't it? To walk into a club like Bayern with all that history and expectation and not just fit in, but basically become the main guy, playing almost every minute, it kind of sets a new benchmark for veteran signings, challenges that old idea that players need a whole season to adjust. But okay, this is where it gets really interesting, what he's actually produced in those 100 games, because the stats, well, they're just mind-blowing.
Oh, they absolutely are. And that's what takes this milestone beyond just playing games. It's not just turning up 100 times. It's the sheer, consistent quality he's delivered nearly every time he steps on the pitch.
Exactly. So get this. In his first 100 games for Bayern, Harry Kane scored, wait for it, 91 goals. And on top of that, 26 assists. Just let that sink in. 91 goals, 26 assists. In 100 appearances, that's a direct goal involvement pretty much every single game, often more than one, which is just, wow.
Yeah.
For any player, let alone someone in a new league, what's your gut reaction when you hear those numbers?
My first thought.
Yeah.
We're looking at something genuinely exceptional in modern football. A statistical outlier, maybe, if we break it down a bit.
Yeah.
That near goal per game ratio, 91 in 100. Even for the absolute legends of the game, keeping that rate up, especially right after moving to a different top league like the Bundesliga, it's incredibly rare. Lewandowski was phenomenal for Bayern, obviously, but even his start wasn't quite this explosive after a switch.
Yeah.
This isn't just a hot streak like a purple patch. It shows sustained world-class finishing that just works anywhere, adapts instantly.
Yeah, because usually there's that adjustment period, right?
Yeah.
New defenders, different refereeing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Different passing rhythms, teammates getting used to your runs. Kane just seemed to bypass all of that, found the net straight away.
That's a great point about transcending leagues. And you focused on the goals, but the 26 assists, that's huge too, isn't it? For someone often seen as just a number 9.
Oh, definitely. Those 26 assists are, you could argue, almost as important as the goals for understanding his total impact. Maybe even more so, in a way. It shows he's so much more than just a finisher, a penalty box guy waiting for the ball. Kane's genuinely creative. He drops deep, links the play, creates space for others, helps build the attack. He doesn't just end it.
Like a playmaker almost at times.
Sort of, yeah. He's got fantastic vision, great passing range. He can play those killer through balls or put in a perfect cross. It makes Bayern's attack way more flexible, harder to predict. Which brings up that question. How does a player keep up that level of scoring and creating while still adapting to everything new? It points to, an incredible football intelligence, understanding tactics, roles, and being unselfish enough to set others up even when he's the main goal threat. That double threat scoring and creating makes him so incredibly difficult to handle.
And the individual awards just hammer home that dominance you're talking about. It wasn't just numbers in isolation. They translated directly into big honors. He was the Bundesliga top scorer in both his seasons at Bayern so far, 23-24, and this current 24-25 season. And just for good measure, he won the European Golden Shoe in 23-24, top scorer across the whole continent in his first full season there. It's unreal.
It really is unreal. To be top scorer in the Bundesliga twice running and then take the golden shoe across all of Europe, all in your first proper season at a new club. That just highlights his immediate foundational impact. It's undisputed goal-scoring supremacy right off the bat. Think about the challenge. Moving from the Premier League, where he was king, to the Bundesliga. Different styles, different pressures. Many players his age might see their numbers dip a bit while they find their feet. Kane, he didn't just adapt. He immediately dominated, smashed records. This isn't just fitting in. It's thriving, setting new standards from day one, basically transforming the attack of one of Europe's giants. It shows he arrived ready to, well, redefine what was possible for a player moving later in their career. He didn't just join Bayern. He kind of conquered it. And then Europe, statistically speaking.
Absolutely. And with that kind of form, that undeniable individual quality, you naturally start thinking about the biggest prize, don't you? The Champions League. Bayern and Kane now know the 8 teams they're facing in this season's league phase. Does his presence, his numbers, actually change Bayern's chances in Europe? Or is the Champions League just a different beast entirely?
Well, that's the key question, isn't it? What's really interesting is how his individual brilliance might lift the team in those massive games. If you think about it, Bayern, post-Lewandowski, maybe sometimes lacked that absolute killer instinct in tight knockout matches. They had talent everywhere, sure, but sometimes that one decisive moment, that bit of magic was missing. Kane potentially fills that gap, not just with goals, but with his calmness under pressure. His record in big games, for Spurs, for England, it brings a different kind of belief to Bayern's European push.
So teams facing Bayern know they're up against someone who can score from literally anywhere.
Pretty much. And create something from nothing or hold the ball up brilliantly to bring teammates into play. That versatility, it makes Bayern much more dangerous, much harder to game plan against over 2 legs in the knockout stages.
So tactically, how does he change things for them in those really high-pressure Champions League nights against the other top teams?
I think it's a bit of both, really. It boosts what they already do well, giving brilliant wingers like Sané or Gnabry an elite finisher to aim for. He'll convert those chances. But it also gives them more options. Kane dropping deep can pull defenders out, creating space for midfielders to run into. That adds more dynamic movement up front, which you need against top European defenses. It means Bayern can still press high like they love to, but if that gets bypassed, Kane can still be effective receiving the ball deeper, almost like a false 9 sometimes, or he can stay central. That flexibility is gold in the Champions League with all the different styles you face. His form could genuinely be the missing piece for those major trophies they and he are desperate to win. He adds that confidence, that guaranteed goal threat. It makes them serious contenders, giving them that edge in the crunch moments.
Right. So wrapping this up, what does it all mean? We've seen Harry Kane's first 100 games for Bayern have been, well, nothing short of phenomenal. Totally redefining what we expect from a player moving at 32, from that super fast integration and durability to the absolutely staggering goal and assist numbers and individual awards. He's made a huge historic mark already, domestically, obviously, but like you said, looking ahead, he seems absolutely vital for their Champions League hopes too.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's truly fascinating here, thinking about his quick integration and those record stats, it really underscores how one truly elite player can fundamentally change a club's path, especially moving later in their career. And considering his consistency, his adaptability, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Beyond the raw stats, the goals, the assists, what other things really define a player's long-term legacy, their influence on a club, on a league, particularly when they make a big move like this at a stage when maybe others are thinking about slowing down. It's about more than just numbers, right? Leadership, culture, ambition, something for us all to think about.